Okay, we're live. It is. Well, we'll give it a minute. We'll see. Okay, it's happening. We're doing another stream. It's another Friday. The week flies by, you guys. It does fly by. It flies by. And they say as you get older, it goes faster. Well, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. It's going fast. And here we are. Here we are. Let's just. I would like to get I still need to. Hey, Sandy on YouTube. You're the first to comment. Congratulations. Congratulations. I need to get an intro, and that's something I want to do at the new year. I need to work on that. Hey, Peggy, what's up on Facebook? How are you? Appreciate your support. Happy Friday. I know. I can't believe it's just flying by. It's flying by. It's going fast, and it's even faster when it's Christmas time. Isn't it? I mean, I just feel like you can't get it all done. I don't know. I still got some shopping to do, but I'm going to be honest with you. Usually this time of year is like, it is stressful. It's just stressful because there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. And, you know, if you are a mom of kids that are still in your house, it's a lot to get done. And you have to be sneaky about it because you got to do stuff when they're not around. And, but I started way early. I bought teachers' gifts before Halloween. So I know, and I've never done that. But I was like, I'm just going to get on it. I'm going to start to just get it done. And that has helped me, but I still have a lot to do. Lots to do. Wow, what's going on? Hey, Sharon on YouTube. What's going on? What are you guys thinking about? It's a joyous event. Yes, Speedy Steve. It's a joyous. And don't forget to be joyful throughout the entire process. And it is. I'm forcing myself to really just slow down, especially in the evenings. Look at the Christmas lights, take it in, be thankful, really reflect on what this is all about, right? So, are you getting any snow? Yes, we are getting snow here in Colorado. We got a little snow last week. I don't know if it was this week or last week. There's snow on the ground. So, and I still have to rake a ton of leaves. That's the problem. When it starts to snow and I still have a lot of raking to get done. And then the snow covers it up and it just, I need to get that done still. The list is endless, you guys. Okay. Well, I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, we'll crank through it pretty quickly to recap this week. But we got to talk about the drones. I mean, you guys, what is happening here? I shot this earlier in the week, and this is how I still feel. So let's just share this to kick this thing off, and then we're going to talk about it.
About my day, getting all the things that mom's got to get done this time of year, a zillion things on my mind, and then I hear this.
In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine, or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this. Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard and launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states, particularly New Jersey, where we know the incoming president has a large home, also in the same county or nearby where some of these drones in New Jersey have been seen.
I'm sorry, what? What? Now, these drones could be ours, right? I mean, they're not going to tell us if they are, right? No one's going to tell us anything. But it's just another thing I now have to think about on top of all the other things I'm thinking about right now. So, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And that's literally how I still feel. I don't have time for this. I don't know about you guys, but it's like, okay, I got a lot going on. And they're like, did you hear about the drones? Drones flying around New Jersey. Some people are saying that they've spotted some drones in Utah now, I'm hearing. I'm like, what? And they're flying in zigzag patterns. They're not flying like normal man drones. I mean, I don't know what to think, right? And I got to break down Congressman Jeff Van Drew, what he said. I do like the guy, okay? I do like him. But when he said that, they're not ours because the government, would tell us. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Really? Do you think the government our government would be like, yeah, they're ours. They're never going to tell us if they're ours. We would never know. And there's a huge part of me that thinks they could be ours, most likely, because they're not doing anything about it. But then there's this side of me that's like, they're not doing anything about it. What does this remind me of? This has happened before. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Just pause it for a minute. The Chinese spy balloon. I mean, you guys, you remember the Chinese spy balloon? I remember driving my son to baseball practice, and we're like sitting in a car, and we're like watching this thing fly, like live video feed of like this just balloon flying over our country. Like I was spotted like in the Northwest, and then it like made its way down like out of Canada and like literally crossed our entire country, and then was starting to exit off the East Coast. And then our government's like, maybe we should shoot it down. Do you think we should? Do you think should we shoot it down? Let's do something about this. So I don't know. I mean, that's where I'm at right now. It's like, if they were adversarial, you would think our government would shoot it down. But then our government didn't shoot down the Chinese spy balloon and let it literally cross our entire country, didn't shoot it down. An adversarial balloon collecting data, collecting information from military bases. Later we found out, and we didn't do anything. So I'm like, I don't know. And this is weird, right? Some say this has been going on for a while, and people just started to notice it because the time changed. It started to get darker earlier, and people were starting to look at the sky. I don't know, like look at the skies more. And they're like, wait a minute. What's that? So I got to throw back really quick, and I should do something with this satirically because it's just like ridiculous. It's just so pathetic that we can't get a straight answer. So, but remember this, I have to throw it back to the Chinese spy balloon and show you guys this one. We have identified that the object in the sky is a Chinese spy balloon. We have collectively decided to allow this Chinese spy balloon to just fly across the United States and collect data and information on our country and simultaneously feed it back to the Chinese Communist Party. And many are asking why? Why have you not shot down this Chinese spy balloon? And the answer to that is debris. If we were to shoot it down, there could be enormous ramifications for people on the Earth's surface. And we don't want people to get injured if this balloon, was to explode and all sorts of debris. It could be really, really catastrophic. Oh, and also another reason for not shooting down this Chinese spy balloon is we would like to be able to obtain any information that is on board the balloon. Shooting it down would destroy any information on board. And with that, I'll take questions. Yes.
Yeah, couldn't you just pull the balloon down? Find various weighted objects, lasso the balloon, and pull it to the Earth's surface? And that way no data is destroyed and no one gets injured. Just pull it down.
It's not a possibility. So,
I mean, if we're able to, re-land rockets and blow up asteroids in space, I thought we would be able to just pull a balloon down to the Earth's surface.
that would be extremely, extremely difficult. Pretty much impossible.
Well, I happened to bring my niece's balloon to this press briefing, and I just want to give you a quick demo, since maybe you guys haven't thought of this. But you would just pull it down like this and bring it to the Earth's surface. Just pull it down. It's just a thought. I mean, you could try it. Just pull it down. I'm just throwing it out there.
Now that one was shot a couple years ago, and I'm realizing now, like Karen made an appearance in the press briefing room. I didn't even know that she did that. What a surprise! But you would think with our technology, we would be able to combat this in some way. And the fact that we're not doing it leads me to think that it's our own government doing some kind of testing or, op stuff, whatever. And some people have mentioned on here, could it be Space Force? We haven't heard about Space Force in a while. I don't know, but it's just getting more bizarre, right? It's getting more bizarre. And then there's another, could it be the Chinese again? And if it's the Chinese, why aren't we shooting it down? But then we didn't shoot the spy balloon down because during both, the Chinese spy balloon and now Joe Biden is president. And we know that they have past connections with the Chinese, Hunter's involvement with the Chinese. I don't know. We're just allegedly, I got to be careful what I say, but it's bizarre. It's bizarre. And hopefully we get some answers. The fact that we're not getting answers makes me think, okay, we're doing this. I don't know. I hope it's us, right? That's the best case scenario here. We really need it to be us. Because if it's not, that's a problem. Anyways, just nuts. And then more people are saying it could be the Iranians because the Iranians have, previously said they want to hurt Trump. I don't know. I think there's a lot of, I don't trust our own team here. So that's my take on it. I don't believe what they tell us. I don't believe what they say. I won't put anyone, I wouldn't put past us to be doing this. And the fact that they're like, oh, they're not foreign, they're not adversarial. So don't worry about it. But it's hard to say that to somebody that's like, there's drones flying over our house. Can anyone tell me what's going on? And they're not small drones, people. They are like large drones. They're the size of SUVs. Somebody says like dining room table sets. They're large. Whatever. And crazy. All right. Anyways, moving on with what has happened this week. That's kind of a big one. The drone thing is that's probably the biggest one. The United Healthcare alleged assassin of the guy that murdered the CEO of United Healthcare was caught allegedly. He's innocent until proven guilty, but there's all sorts of stuff that's leading us to believe that they have got the correct guy. We'll wait and see. What I have been completely disturbed by is the admiration for this young guy. I don't respect anyone that's going to go kill an innocent person. And there, the people are, oh, he's not innocent. He's not innocent. There are people that, have been harmed by the, health insurance, and there have, and it's very screwed up. The entire industry is screwed up. And there's a lot of people that are getting denied claims, people causing bankruptcy, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And that's wrong. That needs to be fixed. The way to fix it is not to go kill the CEO of, one of these health insurance companies. That's not how you solve it. But this is sparked like all sorts of like weird, like a lot of weird posts by people and women and men, having admiration from this guy. He had 64 followers on, I think Twitter, and now he has well over 400,000. It could be 500,000. It's just growing rapidly. People have flooded the McDonald's of the where the guy, somebody spotted him at the McDonald's, and a McDonald's, and I think it was in Pennsylvania, and was it Pennsylvania? You guys could check me on that. And they reported that, hey, this guy looks just like the guy that they're trying to catch, and people are outraged that somebody snitched on him. And so they're giving the McDonald's horrible reviews. Delay, Deny, Defend. It's a book kind of about the health insurance companies and deception and corruption. And that's now like number 2 on Amazon. And the supposed suspect had Deny, Defend, Depose on the bullet casings. And I don't know, this says a lot about our society right now. This says a lot about I feel like people are hungry for heroes, and to see this guy as a hero just says how dark our world has gotten. It's like cold-blooded murder is not heroic. It's not. There's no, it's just pure evil. It's evil to kill. It's evil to murder. And I can't believe I'm having to say this. Like, what? Yes, it's wrong. Like, you shouldn't do it. This guy is a dad. And I don't know the relationship he had with his wife. I'm hearing they're estranged, supposedly. I don't know. But these kids now don't have a dad. Like, the answer to that is now, like, the answer to all of the dark side of the health insurance corruption. And it is corruption. There have been people that we've known, like the amount of claims that get denied is ridiculous. And it's absolutely got to be extremely frustrating. You're paying something every single month, like, to hopefully, if something bad does happen to you, you'll get covered. Right? Like, oh my gosh, you every single month you're giving to something, and with the assurance that they'll cover you if something bad happens. And then when something bad happens and they don't cover you, it's wrong. So there should be some kind of ramifications for our healthcare insurance, that whole world. Like, it should be, I don't know if it's more legislation. I'm not a big legislation for, like, more government, but there should be some kind of accountability. But this is not how you do it. It's just not how you do it. And a lot of people are trying to compare, because this also happened this week. Daniel Penny was found not guilty, and they're like, well, it's just like Daniel Penny, like, he saw, a guy on the subway, and he was screaming at something, and he did something about it. And Daniel Penny did not, like, premeditate going onto the subway and killing someone. He didn't think, I'm going to get on there and I'm going to take this guy out. I'm going to go kill some, like this, the Mangione alleged, suspect. I gotta be so careful with what I say, but that's premeditated. Like, that's calculated. That guy wrote a manifesto, like, saying what he wanted to do, and saying why he supposedly did it. And I guess he suffered from a lot of chronic back pain. I know people that have suffered from chronic back pain. It's horrible. And it's very difficult to then fix after, once you fall into chronic back pain. It's just like this perpetual cycle, and he was in a lot of pain, and people have said that that pain kind of changed him. We'll follow this story as it unfolds, but it's nothing like Daniel Penny getting on a subway with some guy screaming that he wants to kill everybody on the subway, and you got to step in and protect people. It wasn't premeditated. So, you know, he didn't show up with a gun on the subway. When you look at, and this is another thing, like when you not study this, but when you look into this Mangione guy, very, very wealthy, very much ado, like very high class, comes from a very wealthy, high class family, educated in the finest schools. Like, that is elitism. That is, he is one of the elite, this guy. And when you look at the CEO of United, really came from like a middle class, middle income kind of background, and rose up. So it's not like, oh, you know, this poor guy is trying to take out the high class. It's the elite. It's kind of the opposite. So we'll watch it unfold, but I'm really disappointed in how people have responded to it, and it's very disheartening, and it's just like, it's sad. It's sad to see how, I don't know, starved society is, how starved people are we pick the wrong heroes. Like, we pick the wrong heroes. We do it with celebrities. We do it with, we glamorize and idolize the wrong people. And I mean, I think we've done this since the beginning of time, really, since the beginning of civilization. And this again, for me, it just exposed like the emptiness of people that are looking for some kind of savior. And it's sad in who they find, that saving, that figure that they think that they can attach to, that can save, or that can bring salvation. And it's sad. It just shows me just the depravity of our world again. And this is a side story, and I wasn't even going to mention this on here, and I don't even know if I should, because I know kids listen to this, but there is a viral video going around, not necessarily video, but there's this woman out of England that wants to, I wouldn't even say sleep, because you're not sleeping with these people, over 1,000 people in one day. It's like a thing. She's a person on OnlyFans, and there's this clip of her, like she was doing like a test run or something like that, and slept with 100 people. And again, not sleeping with these people. I mean, and she's crying about it, and she's like, well, now on to like 1,000. And it's like, you can see the complete emptiness in her eyes. You can see the detachment from, it's almost like a soullessness in her face. And I can't get it out of my mind. Like, I can't get it out of my mind. And I'm thinking about this person, and I'm thinking, and she's, and the way she comes across is like, that was that one moment where you saw this like emotional side of like, this is destroying her, like it's killing her from the inside out. But it's when she's then interviewed about it or talked about it, and I read an article about it, it's like very nonchalant. It's like not a big deal. It's I'm doing this for the clicks. I'm doing this for, the notoriety, and to kind of like a world record type thing. And like, I saw it as, wow, again, like our world is so broken. It's so broken, and it's so in need of true salvation. It's in need of Jesus, and nothing ever will be able to fill that void. Even if she goes through with this, there's no completion in it. There's no, and what we're trying to do, like with our like these people that are trying to, and I don't know who's even watching this junk. Like that's just disgusting in itself. And but they're trying to fill it. It's like this starvation of like filling it, like looking to this guy that kills, the CEO. Like maybe that's who we can attach ourselves to and idolize, or oh, look at this person, trying to receive fame and through doing like vile things. Like there's such a sacredness in intimacy, and to violate that is just against everything that God desires for humans and intimacy. And we're filling this with all sorts of just stuff and need, and it makes me so like sad. I just saw that and I was like, wow, like how and I felt convicted because it was like Christians are obviously failing. Like, and not necessarily like, I wouldn't say Christians, but we have to reach these people. Like if people are really idolizing someone that went up and just cold-blooded killed somebody, and that guy's now the hero, like we need to reach them. We need to reach them. We need to reach this girl that is completely just void of any kind of self-worth. We need to, I mean, like it just felt, for me, it was like, man, we shouldn't be even seeing this. And the reason we're seeing it because we've removed God. And if we put God back in, a lot of this doesn't flourish. And I'm just seeing like a frenzy of it. And this week, like for me, I was like, dang, like I can't believe that people are looking into this Mangione guy and this poor girl. And I know people are like, don't feel sorry for her. She's, she's done this to herself, and but she's gonna grow up. She's gonna, she's in her 20s. She'll be 30. She'll be 40. She'll be 50. She'll be 60. And looking back, what do you want to contribute to the world? Like we have one life here on this planet in these human bodies to make an impact, to change the world for the better, not for the worse. And I don't think enough people really think about that. I don't think enough people really spend enough time thinking, what do you want people to know you for? And I don't think being known for selling your body out is something that you really would want when you're older. And I think that it's just sad. I know I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. It's just, I guess for me, I just realized how much the world needs Jesus and how empty a lot of these people are, and who we're idolizing, and who we're platforming is just like, what? So anyways, and this is another one. Like, so Jay-Z. Everybody knows Jay-Z. I think you do. Rapper Jay-Z was named in somebody that was with Diddy. Supposedly this woman, I'll just read it to you. This is from CNN. A woman alleges she was sexually assaulted by Sean Diddy Combs, has amended her lawsuit to include allegations that she was assaulted by Jay-Z at the same party. The lawsuit was initially filed against Combs in October, but on Sunday, the woman added Sean Carter, the rapper and businessman known as Jay-Z, as a defendant in the civil lawsuit. Carter is the first celebrity to be accused of sexual assault in connection to Combs. In a statement addressed to CNN, Carter calls the allegations so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? That was his response. Combs was indicted. That's P. Diddy, was indicted in September on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy and prostitution related charges. He pleaded not guilty to the charges and has denied all wrongdoing in roughly 30 civil lawsuits that had been filed against him. So that's a big name to drop. That happened again this week. Jay-Z is obviously denying it. A lot of people are now going after Beyonce. They're starting to question Beyonce's involvement. There was allegedly another woman in the room when this happened. I'm not saying it was Beyonce. I'm not saying it was Jennifer Lopez, but both of these women were with. Well, I know that J-Lo was with P. Diddy and Beyonce was with Jay-Z dating wise at the time. So we'll see if this woman then names the woman in the room. Again, absolutely disgusting and sick and wrong and vile and evil. And then people are starting to talk about how young was Beyonce when she started dating Jay-Z. Some are saying that she was really, really young. Others are arguing back. They'll never really say what age she was, Jay-Z and Beyonce, when they officially started dating. So I don't know. We'll see this unfold. We'll see if this unfolds. And I think that more of this is going to start to come out, especially with Trump now coming into office. My hope is that we get the P. Diddy list. We get everybody that was attending these parties. We find out about who these people are. I find it very interesting. A lot of the P. Diddy party goers were avidly vocal, like screaming heading into this last election to vote for Harris, because there's a fear that the people involved in these Diddy white parties or whatever are going to be exposed. We're going to find out names. Also hearing that the Epstein list could drop under the Trump presidency. And that would change so much when you think about it. When you think about the culture that we've created, when you think about Hollywood, the celebrity lifestyle, the glamorization, and then you start to hear big names, people that people have looked up to, that have admired in their involvement in a lot of really disgusting and horrific things, especially on Epstein Island, these Diddy parties, thinking that, this person that this famous actress or whatever, you're like, what? If it actually comes out, it would change Hollywood. It would change the entertainment world forever. And we're starting to see, I believe we're seeing Hollywood already start to crumble. The celebrity, admiration is really kind of dissipated at this point. They really had no pull in this last election. It was like, another celebrity endorsement. Like, nobody cared. It was like, okay. Like, so the weight that they used to pull like old glamorous Hollywood, it's gone. It's not there anymore, right? So we'll just watch this unfold. I'm curious to see if she does drop the name of the woman that was in the room. So we'll see. We will see. So that's a big one. That's another big one. Another big one is Director Wray, Chris Wray from the FBI, resigned this week. Good. Oh my goodness. Thank the Lord. Like I was so ready for that guy to go, even like years ago. And I stumbled upon a Federalist article, and it was great because it really kind of broke down a lot of just like Director Wray's involvement and just or complete lack of involvement or over involvement in things that happened in the FBI during his tenure. And let's just go through some of them. The Mar-a-Lago raid. It was under Director Wray that Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's home, was raided. Okay, that's never been done before. and Chris Wray gives the okay. Actually, we're hearing that it was the DOJ. It was Merrick Garland that actually gave the go ahead to go ahead and raid Trump's home, which is just ridiculous. Another one, the FBI refused to attempt to open the alleged assassin's phone of Trump. Trump revealed on a podcast in October that the FBI has yet to open three or so cell phones possessed by the attempted shooter who stalked him on the Mar-a-Lago golf course. So that's the second attempted assassination on the golf course. They refused to open the phone and find out what's on it. They have no problem getting the Jan 6ers phone, the people from January 6 phones open, but they won't open this guy's phone. That says so much. The January 6th crackdown, it was under FBI Director Wray that the nationwide hunt for participants in the January 6th Capitol riot. They were questioning grandmothers. They were questioning everyone that was even near the Capitol. The agency, meanwhile, refused to answer lawmakers' questions about the extent of the federal law enforcement's involvement in the Capitol riot. We still don't know who planted those pipe bombs. What? Years later, no information about that. That also under Director Wray. The Whitmer plot. Remember, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, the plot to kidnap her. We ended up finding that there was FBI involvement in all of that. The infiltration of Catholic parishes. In February last year, a former special agent, Kyle Seraphin, revealed that the FBI Richmond Division would like to protect Virginians from the threat of white supremacy, which it believes has found a home with Catholics who prefer Latin Mass. They were literally spying on Catholics in their Mass. The document assesses with high confidence the FBI can mitigate threats of radical traditionalist Catholics by recruiting sources within the Catholic Church. So they're trying to recruit people in the Catholic Church. Like, that's your big threat, right? Like, it's unbelievable. They started targeting parents. Remember, they targeted parents that attended school board meetings under Director Wray and the FBI. Like, that's what they spent their time doing. Weeks before the 2021 Virginia gubernatorial election, in which parental rights in education were the centerpiece of Republican campaigns, the FBI deployed counterterrorism resources on parents who raised issues at school board meetings. Parents identified as extremists. I know a woman she spoke up at a school board meeting, and the FBI literally knocked down her front door. Came into her house. I mean, that's what the FBI was doing under Chris Wray. Also the prosecution of pro-life Christians. Wray denied allegations this summer that his agency was unfairly targeting pro-life demonstrators before the House Judiciary Committee. However, there's a report out contrary to Wray's claims. Only 5 of the 60 cases brought under Biden's watch focused on pro-abortion extremists. The other 55 people targeted who value life in the womb were praying and singing and evangelizing at abortion facilities. So it wasn't focused on people that really wanted to do some terrible harm to an abortion clinic. It was people that were just praying outside of abortion clinics that they began to target. This FBI under Wray. It's nuts. Speaking of the FBI, we just found out yesterday, you guys, that Inspector General Horowitz said that there were 26 undercover FBI assets at January 6th when that all went down. Shocker, right? I mean, this was a conspiracy theory. When I would talk to people about January 6th, and I was like, well, there were probably people there were people in the crowd that were instigating, that were getting these people riled up to go in and do some damage. what involvement did these 26 undercover FBI agents take, right? Were they dissipating? Were they calming the crowd? I don't know. But the fact that they were there, the fact that it's now coming out that they were there, and I think that I personally believe the 26 is like just a BS number. I believe is a lot more than that. But the fact that they're now admitting, when it was just like you got banned off of Facebook for saying that the FBI had any involvement in January 6th. Like, it was just like, you can't even say it. Don't talk about it. You censor yourself. Don't even dare. Now it's like out in a report by the Inspector General that FBI was there involved on the grounds at the Capitol on January 6th. Like, that's a big deal. I look forward to Kash Patel getting in there and really exposing what really happened with January 6th and how the whole thing turned into what it did. I've got my own take on it. I mean, obviously, and if you're a thinking individual, you know what happened, right? Because prior to that all going down, prior to the craziness of the people going into the Capitol and breaking windows and all that stuff, and they were counting the votes. They were having a hearing. Okay, our legislatures, our House of Representatives was having a hearing on discrepancies that they found in the 2020 election. Okay, and that riot took all of the eyes off of what was happening as our House was talking and meeting and trying to really get to the root of like different issues, just what was happening, like the Capitol riot completely took all the wind out of that. And we never ever actually heard a lot of the cases presented that were going to be presented by the House, by members of the House. Like, it all was just like completely shut down. And it would, I mean, I don't know, draw your own conclusions. It's pretty obvious to me what happened. Okay. Caitlin Clark also hit the news this week. She is a basketball player. She played for the University of Iowa. My dad is a huge fan of Caitlin Clark because my dad played for the University of Iowa football. So, big Iowa fans over here on my side of the family. But Caitlin kind of disappointed a lot of people this week, saying that she was she became the athlete of the year by Time. And a shout out to Trump, who was the person of the year by Time, which is just shocking that Time even did this, but that they allowed Trump to grace the cover. But he did, and that's pretty admirable. I did share, I know this is just a side note. We'll come back to Caitlin. But I shared a picture on Facebook of just Trump's like mugshot, and then him on the Time magazine, cover of the Time magazine. So it's like where we started and where we are now, which is pretty fascinating to watch, like the journey that we have taken over just the course of several years. And now he's on the cover of Time magazine as the person of the year. So shout out to President Trump on that one. But also Caitlin, she's athlete of the year. And she said in there that, I want to say, I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been Black players. This league has kind of been built on them. She goes on to say, the more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible. I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more we can elevate Black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Now, she's young. I think she's like in her early 20s. She's trying to be nice, right? Like, but she's perpetuating the see color. Always see color. Don't look at people based on their talent or their ability or their character. Just see color. And as long as we do this, we will continue to be divided. we will continue to not be united. And that's the problem with this wokeness here, is that when you constantly call out someone's color or the color of someone's skin, you're causing separation. You're not causing unity. And this was really disappointing, because it felt like, I mean, Caitlin's an incredible athlete. I don't know if you guys have watched her play, but she's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And she's brought a ton of attention to women's basketball. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch women's basketball until I started to see Caitlin Clark play basketball. Like, and I was like, what? Just phenomenal player. I do enjoy watching men's basketball. I always have. Like, it's a fun game, and it's very, like, so fast paced. But women's basketball, it never. But Caitlin, she brought attention to that. Now, yes, before that, yes, there wasn't that much attention. Not because of the color of the skin, not because it was because Caitlin had brought like I don't know, like people saw like this very genuine kind of presence to her, and she just seems so like middle America from Iowa, small town girl, works hard, and very, very good player. Now, not to say there weren't other great players before her, of course not, but for Caitlin to then say, oh, you know, it's let's go back and let's talk about color. Instead of saying, I'm excited to be here. It's an incredible opportunity. And I really hope that we can move together as a force to be reckoned with, and really start to grow women's basketball into an incredible, I don't know, most popular watch sport. So I think a lot of this is because, you know, it's in our school systems. She probably sat and listened to professor after professor tell her that she's where she is because of the color of her skin, and not because she's talented. It's because she's a white person. No, it's because she's a really good basketball player. That's why. Like, it's not, has nothing to do with skin color. Girl can play ball. So, like, just let's talk about the sport and not about the color of the skin. And until we start doing that, until we start calling out, say, no, like, let's not even go there. Let's talk about what did you do? How much basketball did you play when you were 5? Did you start like, what makes great people great in athleticism? Like, what traits do incredible athletes have that the rest don't have? Right. And instead they want to focus on the color of the skin. And that's just, it's going to continue to divide us. That's my take on all this. So Megyn Kelly shot back after hearing Caitlin say this. And she said, look at this. She's on the knee, all but apologizing for being white and getting attention. The flagellation, oh, please pay attention to the Black players who are really the ones you want to celebrate, condescending, fake, transparent, sad. So, and then everybody started coming after Megyn Kelly for calling this out. And then we have Caitlin Clark responding, and you guys can watch this quick clip.
Always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about. And like I said, like, it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of. And like I said, like, I try to just be real and authentic. And, share my truth. And I think that's very easy for me. Like, I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And that's kind of been how it is my entire life.
Yes. And you'll never be able to make everyone happy. And someone that knows that at the age of 22, like, let's go.
I think I have good perspective on that. And like I said in the article, which turned out amazing, I thought it was great. I said, I feel like one of my best skills is just blocking things out. Like, I don't really, the only opinions I really care about are the people that I love, my teammates, my coaches, the people inside of our locker room, the people that I see every single day, and I know have my best interests at heart too. So I think my best skill is just blocking out the noise, and hopefully it continues to be, because with the way things are going and where the WNBA is going, you want that attention and you embrace it, and that's what makes this so fun.
Yeah.
So I don't think that didn't pull, that clip didn't pull from, but she was actually kind of responding to Megyn Kelly saying that she has the ability to block out the noise. But and somebody commented on here that the my truth, like, that needs to go too, because there's no my truth. I'm so over that. That's such a Oprah Winfrey thing to say, and I think we're gonna find out more about Oprah Winfrey in these coming years. But there's just the truth, right? Like, it's not my truth or your truth. It's the truth. And the truth is based on facts, factual information. The fact is, Caitlin Clark is a wonderful, incredible athlete. The fact is that she got to where she is because she's an incredible athlete. She's very talented, and she's one of the best to ever play the game. That's the facts. That's the truth. And it's sad, and I'm hoping though and I got to extend her some grace, because she's young, and as you grow up and you get older, you start to realize a lot of the manipulation and indoctrination that you were fed when you attended public schools. I went to a public university, and I sat under, like, and this was years ago, guys. I'm getting older here, but I sat under professors that I was told, because I was white, like I was bad. Like, I was made to feel guilty in one particular class that I remember. I was probably there were a couple other white people in the room, and it was, and then everybody else was all sorts of different colors. It was it was a big university I attended, and I sat there and heard people talk about how, because of the white people, and it's white people's fault, and all this stuff. And I think if you sit there and you hear that over and over and over again, you begin to believe it. And that's, I think, what we're seeing here is, if it's the same with the climate change people. You're told that you're destroying the planet. You're told that your very existence is the reason why Earth is going to blow up. I mean, that does something to you mentally, right? Like, eventually you're like, oh my gosh. Well, if white people are told over and over again that everything is their fault, and all the world's problems are because of the color of your skin, you begin to have a very self-loathing kind of, persona. And so we see this with the whole response that Caitlin Clark gave. And my hope is that she would just embrace it and own it, and realize that we're all the human race. That's the thing. Like, we're all the human race, and everybody's different colors, but we all stem from one race. And stop seeing the color. Honestly, stop seeing the color. And we should look at the character, and we should look at the content of people's character, and we should look at the fact that she's just a good athlete, and she's brought a lot of recognition to the game. But we'll see. We'll see how. We'll see her. We'll watch her grow up. We'll see if her mindset changes or not as she gets away from the college scene, right? The more you it's like breaking, like, it's a lot of unwiring. Yeah, I mean, they twisted up there. Those professors, they're, you gotta work it all out once you get out of these big universities. You do. That's why I advise people to not send their children to the big universities. It's a miracle that I got out of there not being completely brainwashed, really. And that's because the credit to my parents. I'm one of 7 kids. On my throat, my goodness. I'm one of 7. And I will say something that my parents did, and I've said this time and time again, is lots of debate. Lots of debate. I think it's extremely important to challenge thought in your home. In your home, and even if you're, and I am, but play the devil's advocate. Teach your kids how to argue their point. Teach them how to, why do you believe what you believe? Press it on. Well, that's not true. Well, this, challenge them, right? Because if they're only taught one thing, and then you get out and you hear other views, that's where you just get lost in it all. And my parents were all constantly, well, you're going to hear this when you get out in the world. You're going to hear this. People are going to say this. People are going to do this. People are going to talk about this. They're going to argue this. They're going to say this. And they prepped me. Like, I was like, so when I got out there, I was like, oh, I knew you were going to say that. I was told you were going to say that. And I know how to argue it back with you. So I really think that that's something that's very important for parents to do, is play the devil's advocate. Get your kid to be able to argue and defend what they believe at a young age. My goodness. And we would have so many debates. Oh, and it would get ugly sometimes. Like, lots of arguing. You got 7 kids with all sorts of different points of views and all that. But I think debate is so healthy because it challenges your thought. And it's okay to be challenged. It's healthy to be challenged, because you either say, okay, maybe I should, dive more into this. Maybe I hear what you're saying. I don't really have an argument for it. So either I'm going to change my point of view and dive deeper into what you're saying, or I'm going to be able to go toe to toe with you, and I'm going to win this argument because I know I'm right. And this is why I'm right. Factually, lay it out. And I think that that's important. I think it's more parents need to be doing it because the world comes at you, man. They come at you, and you got to be ready for it. Okay. So I don't know how I even got on that, but yep, that's pretty much the wrap for now. I don't know if anything else has unfolded in the last hour. You guys can let me know. Let's see here. We got Neil on here. Neil saying the league started in 96 and has been subsidized from the start. That's true. The biggest money makers that benefit from the WNBA are bookies. Very true. Very true, Neil. What else are you guys saying? I feel like I just chatted a lot today, and I don't even know if I wanted to convey what I really wanted to convey, but it is what it is. Caitlin was great. She put herself down, says that. Yeah, don't put yourself down. Lift yourself up. You got enough people putting you down. That's what I'd say to Caitlin. What else? What else, you guys? All right. Well, the worse than James Comey. Yeah, one Chris Wray. Teresa, I'm just seeing that. True. Very true. All right. Well, that's about it. That's a wrap. I hope that you guys are well. I hope you're doing well. As we move forward, and a shout out. If you're on X, I have been approved for subscriptions because I have Patreon. I've got Facebook supporters. It has taken like over a year and a half to get approved to have subscriptions, supporters often on X. And now they have approved me. So that's really good because I feel like some people, they kind of like stay on certain platforms. Like if YouTube's your thing, that's where you are and you kind of hover there. And if Facebook's your thing, you kind of hover there. And so to try to get people to come over to Patreon has been a challenge for me. And I go back and forth, like, what do I do? And so it helps to be approved on individual platforms. So if you're on X and you like what I do, please subscribe and support. That would be awesome. And what else did I want to say to you guys? I wanted to say, I know I had something else. Oh, I wanted to, this, it might be too long to mention here because it's a huge topic. And I talked about it. I think I talked about it last week, or maybe I talked about it just to my Patreon supporters, but the woke right, the woke right is growing, and they're very similar to the woke left, and a lot of them champion kind of taking control, and with their thoughts and with their ideologies. And this is what I want to say to that really quick, and we can dive into this more next week, is if you're a Christian and you are on the right, like me, I'm a Christian, I'm on the right, I align with right ideologies, I'm a conservative, but if you are on the right and you start to hold any kind of animosity or hatred or bigotry or resentment for a certain group of people, then you're not walking in Christ's love. You're not. And I'm seeing a lot of like hatred start to grow on the woke right. And I would just ask, before you start pointing your fingers at certain groups of people or certain countries, check yourself in your walk with God. Because if you have any kind of bitterness or hate in your heart, you become easily deceived. And once deception sets in, it's very hard to come out of deception. So guard your heart. Guard it. Don't let anyone get in there and tell you that it's their fault or that country's fault or they're the root of all the world's problems. It's them. Get them. That's not of God. And it's not one of the fruits of the Spirit. And I think that right now in these times that we're in, it's very, very important to walk in the fruits of the Spirit, right? Love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, temperance, long-suffering, faithfulness. Like, get those in your heart, right? Meekness. What is meekness? Like, gentleness. Those are the fruits of the Spirit. And if you're not seeing someone operate in that, then I would question their faith and what they're proclaiming. So we'll see how this unfolds, but I'm starting to see it get whipped up more and more and more. And people are really starting to point at one particular group or one particular country. And it's not of God. It's not of God. So that's what I have to say on that. I probably will I feel like this is only going to grow. I feel like it's only going to grow. It's only going to increase. And it's going to be something that I'm going to have to talk about constantly. And I think a lot of people will not hear me. I mean, not to like project what I see into the future, but I feel like more people will align with their hatred for a particular group of people in a particular country. And I will only be able to reach the people that God wants me to reach. And that's okay. And I have to be okay with that, right? I can't force people to read their Bibles or to really understand scripture. I can't. But those that will hear, and those that have soft hearts will have soft hearts. And so just guard your heart and make sure that you're walking in love and forgiveness, because that's very important. It's very important. Anyways, I'm sure we're gonna have to dive into that one. It's a deep one, and it's only growing. What I see growing, a lot of hatred, and I don't like it. So I'll have to talk about it more, and that's fine. Yeah, 3 fingers are always pointing back at you when you're pointing others. Amen to that, Neil. All right, Brittany is on here. I think that she's upset. She doesn't look like she's I don't know what she's talking about. I missed the drones. Yes, Jacqueline, I meant go back at the top. I had to talk about the drone. I talked about the drones at the top. It's like, what? So if you get a chance to rewatch it, please do. I did drop my Patreon link in there. If you guys want to support, please do. I'm trying to grow Patreon. And also, I've asked like my supporters what they want more of. What do you like? What do you not like? Do you like the commentary? Do I keep doing the commentary in the new year? I want to make some changes. I'm wondering if instead of recapping the week, I just take one or two things from the week and discuss it more deeply, or just discuss one topic deeper. And I can do that. If you like that, if that's something you want, let me know in the comments. The satire, a lot of people like the satire. Do I keep doing? Okay, I've got someone saying satire. Keep doing the satire. Obviously, I will be talking about God because he's such a big part of my life, and my faith is such a big part of my life. And I do believe that faith is going to be more of a discussion as we head into the new year. I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming about and happening. And I think that faith plays a huge role in all that. Okay, so satire so far. I just got Christine. Christina said satire. Commentary, maybe not. I mean, I don't have to do these streams. If you guys are like, meh, I will if you want to. It's kind of like I need the feedback. So feel free to message me. You can message me on Facebook. You can you can drop stuff in the comments. The satire. People love satire. I know. I love the satire too. I've had people say, just do the satire. But then it's like something happens and I'm like, oh, I got to talk about that. I got to talk about it. So maybe I'll just talk about one topic. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm navigating. I want to make some changes in the new year. I don't want to keep doing the same thing without a call-in show. That'd be fun. That would be fun. But then who's like screening? Because it would have to, I could have I've had some weirdos. So then what do you do? Both. Okay. A lot of people have said both. All right. Well, let me know. Let me know, you guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. I'm thankful for just your support. I'm thankful for the shares, the comments, the likes. It all has been a blessing, and I'm excited for what lies ahead. I really am. So, all right, you guys, enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you're doing some fun stuff, some fun Christmas festive holiday activities. I'm going to make some Christmas cookies. The cutouts always get a little wacky at my house. You know, I have this vision of like this mother in an apron and all the things are all perfect. And then in reality, there's, flour everywhere, frosting found. And like, how did the frosting even get on the ceiling? It's stuff like that, the perception of what I have in my head of what I want it to look like. And then reality. But we're doing the cutout cookies this weekend. Moderators, people in check. Yeah. I mean, you could maybe have a screener if you had call-ins. People do like the recap. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, that's it. And signing off. We'll talk soon. Have a great weekend and God bless you guys. Bye, guys.